Hi Bloomers, welcome back to my channel. I would like to welcome all the new subscribers out there. Thank you so much for joining the family and all my new patrons on my page. Thank you for joining me as well. I've been struggling with some technical problems. I dropped my Mac on the floor of the airport on the way back home, and I also broke my microphone. So technology is not really helping me lately, and I apologize if the quality is not that brilliant today. But it's all about the message, right? So I hope that this resonates with you. I really hope that this message today empowers you in any way possible, and that it brings faith along your journey. I was explaining this on my live session yesterday. We all go through a faith crisis once in a while, right? We all have to question ourselves, and this is good because questions lead to clarity, and pain leads to tenderness. And so it's a daily practice of exercising our own humility, our own surrender, and finding new levels of love and deep knowing within ourselves, right? Be mindful that we all are looking for freedom within our relationships, the freedom to be ourselves, the freedom to take off the mask, the freedom to finally be able to be genuine and vulnerable and fragile within our relationships, whether they may be romantic or just friendships, right? That's what we aim for. We aim for that personal freedom, for that sacred space where we can breathe and be ourselves. And that can only come from love. So love, in a sense, is a daily choice. It's something that you wake up every day and you decide to choose love above everything else. You choose love above pain, love above hurt, love, above anything else that you may be experiencing in your life. It's a daily choice of giving love into every situation that happens to you, no matter what. I was explaining yesterday as well that love is kind, love can give and get no gain. So there's no gain in love other than the amplification of that energy within yourself. That's what we aim for. Being love, creating more love, expanding more love, amplifying love in every way possible, and be that anchor for love down here. So as we're going through this whole process, there's a very interesting thing happening throughout the collective, because there is almost a separation of beliefs, of faith, of waves, and it is so important for all of us to come into union with the collective rather than pointing out and judging what is separating us at the moment. It doesn't matter who is in the front row or who is in the back seat, because we're all getting to the same place, right? And we should all have the compassion and the kindness to support one another as we go through these moments that haven't been easy for anyone. I am not immune to those emotions as well. In fact, it has been really, really hard for me to channel my personal messages lately, because there is so much compassion within at least the people that I have channeled for, that it takes me a while to recover from a channeling and gather my bearings and just move on to the next one, right? Yesterday, I had a very emotional day. All of my channelings were about twins who are coming into union. So I really had to break down and cry after every channeling. And I had one in the morning that was very emotional and took me a very long time to snap out of it. And I was in the evening when I finished work and I finished my live and everything. I still had to think about her, and I still had another cry before I went to sleep, just because I was so touched by what's happening along her journey. So I just want you all to know that I am proud of you. I am incredibly touched and humbled by your own journey. I know that it has not always been easy for any of us, but in spite of everything that has happened, we're still here. and we are still breathing love, and that's the most important lesson that we can take out of it. Okay, now I really feel that within the collective, the feminines are embracing a new type of love. So I discussed this a while back, and holding a new template of love, right? And this comes from perseverance. This comes from choosing love every day as well. That abundance comes from that daily choice of overcoming our ego, because it's only your ego who is telling you that you're not loved, or that you're not protected, or that the other person doesn't love you, doesn't care enough, doesn't give you enough attention. You know, I posted something on my Instagram this morning. Validation is for parking, right? And that is a conclusion that we all need to come into. And so there's a breaking down of the ego happening with both sides, masculine and feminine, as well, as we all embrace those energies. But most importantly for the feminines, where we are being shown aspects of ego in places where we thought we were being loving. And so it is also being shown how we are deceiving ourselves, and there's a rebirth of a new type of love coming to the surface through the acceptance of what was and what it is to become, which is the unknown. It's a mystery, right? But in order for union to happen, physical union with your twin, there needs to be union within all aspects of the self, both for the masculine and for the feminine. And what I mean by that is that you need to come into a space where you get an unanimous decision to step into union from all aspects of yourself. So your mind, your body, your heart, your soul, your spirit, all of those aspects need to sit down and have a yay decision in regards to union. So what happens sometimes is that your heart is ready, goes like yay, and your spirit is ready, yay, your soul is ready, yay, you know, your body wants to move, yay, and then your mind goes like, guys, you know, I don't know, I'm not so sure, I have doubts. And so just like a jury in a courtroom, you're going to have to go within again and discuss all aspects of what is bothering you until you come into that alignment of the self, right? So see how one of those aspects is not being in alignment with all the other decisions that are being made by the other aspects of the self. So obviously your soul is always going to give you the courage to do something. Your spirit is always going to give you the guidance to get there. And your heart is always going to follow you towards what you're passionate about. Your mind is going to show you the fears and the doubts and the ego aspects of the journey. But your body is ultimately responsible for taking action and creating the momentum and the movement towards the outcome, right? So without all of those aspects being in agreement, your body will not take the full decision to move forward, to do something about it, right? To express yourself, to express your love, to take action, to make a decision. All of those aspects need to come into union. And so I really feel that for the feminines, it is important that you do hold this new template of love, that you swim in this abundance, that you use your perseverance to move forward, to create this rebirth of what is to come, with a full acceptance of what has been, and really identify aspects where you are deceiving yourself. Where is your mind telling you that you felt unloved, uncared for, unprotected, unsafe, insecure, right? Those are all aspects of ego. Is just a pointer. It's just indicating where healing still needs to happen. It's not saying that there's something wrong with you. It's just telling you, hey, before we go, can you just address this? You know, and once you do, then we can go in peace. So that is very important for the feminines who are experiencing this. Obviously, this is not going to resonate with all of you. It's impossible for me to channel a message that reaches the whole collective. unless I talk about unconditional love and universal love. This is for a very specific wave of people who are going through these emotions now. And then, in regards to the masculine, what I've been noticing as a pattern of my sessions is that there's an internal self-analysis of who they are. And I posted something on my Facebook page the other day explaining the perspective of a man, saying that until a woman fully and unconditionally loves you, a man wouldn't have known enough about himself, because through the eyes of a woman who loves you, then that's when you get the perception of who you truly are beyond the reflection of the mirror. And that mirror is your own conditioning, it's your own experience, it's the opinion of others, it's how you perceive yourself in this world. Right? And those are just illusions. And then there's a whole internal universe that is happening within yourself. A sea of emotions, if you may call it that can only be shown through the eyes of a woman who really loves you, right? That is able to show you your virtues beyond your faults and empower you with the tools to embrace those virtues as the rule and not the exception, right? And so within this internal analysis, there's an evaluation of aspects where they have to find their own self-worth, of understanding, am I able to provide enough? Am I able to protect enough? Am I good enough? Do I have the ability to give enough? Can I match her expectations? Can I be the man that she claims me to be, you know? Can I see myself beyond my own environment? Can I find inner peace within my loneliness? Can I find happiness within my synchronicities? Right? And this is a process that doesn't happen overnight, doesn't need to happen overnight, because if it's something worth having, then you're gonna invest all your energy into healing and creating a solid foundation for the future. You don't want to come empty-handed. You want to come with a knife into a gun fight, right? So to speak. I don't advocate for weapons at all, but this is just an analogy, right? Am I ready for this? Do I have what it takes? And through the tapping of those emotions and those memories, there's a recollection of those virtues in many moments of their own experience of understanding, I do have these qualities. I do have these virtues that she sees in me. I have made them the exception and not the rule, but they exist within myself. And through her eyes, I was able to see it. So this was really touching for me to understand that it's happening with a fraction of the masculine collective. I was sharing this with someone else the other day in one of my sessions. And I was explaining to her, because she was asking me, does he think of me? Does he love me? Does he understand what I'm going through? And I explained to her, I gave her an analogy, and I don't know if you guys out there heard about it. There's something called a long distance relationship pillow. So it's a couple of pillows, and each one of you has one, in a long distance relationship, and those pillows have light in them. And they only get activated when one of you puts your head in the pillow in the evening. When you go to sleep, you lay your head down on the pillow and the light goes on. And so on the other side of the world, imagining that you're in a long distance relationship, the light goes on. And so you would know, oh, he's in bed sleeping, right? And so you see the light. That's the analogy I use to compare when one of the twins touches their soul, when they have a soul connection, when they have a spiritual connection, when they sit down and go within and tap into the memories and the emotions attached to the connection itself. And so you may feel sometimes that you have this pull to reach out, you feel the pull to get in touch, or you get memories of events, or you get emotions coming back to the surface, right? And so I always use that analogy to explain it's the light that goes on in your pillow, meaning your twin is making a soul connection with his own pillow when he lays down his head, or she lays down her head on the pillow, and she thinks of the connection itself. So the light goes on. And so you might feel like those moments of light are coming within yourself. Just know that it's a soul connection of one of you tapping into your soul. And so that is experienced on the other side. I think the most important thing here is to really understand the freedom that comes from such a connection. Because as I mentioned before, we're all looking for personal freedom. We're all afraid of losing our own identity and our own individuality in our relationships. We're always afraid of not being able to fully express ourselves, to fully be ourselves, to have our own environment or our daily routine changed or affected by a relationship that we have in our lives, right? We don't want to go through that process again. We went through that many, many times over in our relationships, where we lost our identity and our individuality, and we became someone else in order to please our partners. And this is not a relationship like anything else. It is based on spiritual principles. It is based on unconditional love, on full understanding, on personal freedom, on the full respect of the two individualities as two powerhouses before you can become a power couple. I feel that the energy is very soft at the moment, at least for this specific wave that I'm channeling for, if this is landing with you. It's very soft. It's a coming out of a moment that was really challenging this summer, I would say. It almost feels like we were dragging ourselves through the mud, having a lot of effort to move forward. And it's almost like you get out of the mud and you need to take a shower and peel off all aspects of pride and ego and resentment and disappointment and the death of some of our dreams that were ego-based, right? So we need to update our dreams as often as possible and keep the original intention of the journey very much present in every single day of your life. So if your intention is unconditional love and personal freedom, then there is no space for ego to come forward and have a say in this situation, right? It's a full surrendering to a bigger plan that we can't see or perceive with our human eyes, and just stepping into an energy of letting it go, let God, right? What is to come is for my highest good. And so I step into faith and trust and understand that whatever is being presented to me now is for my highest good. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. I really hope that this helps you achieve some clarity about your own journey, that you can detect your own aspects of ego. I know I always say ego is not your amigo, but it doesn't have to be your enemy. It's just a teacher. You know, it's just pointing out and indicating aspects of healing. So take that as a lesson. Take notes, move on, grow, evolve, go beyond your own expectations, await for miracles to happen, and just stay in that pure energy of your original intention, which is unconditional love and personal freedom. So I'm wishing you all an amazing day. I'm sending you so much love and so many blessings straight from my heart. And I'm really praying that you stay safe and protected within the power of your own heart. Big love to all of you.